Welcome to the Legends Behind the Craft podcast, where we feature top leaders in the wine and craft beverage industry with your host, Drew Hendricks. Now, let's get started with the show.
Drew Hendricks here. I'm the host of the Legends Behind the Craft podcast, where I talk with leaders in the wine and craft beverage industry. You know, the deeper I go into this podcast, the more I realize how many legendary people across so many skill sets are working passionately to elevate the entire industry. It's freaking amazing. Last week, I talked with Jeff and Josh Dater from Inventory. These guys developed a patented 3D modeling technology that allows users to quickly locate a bottle of wine in their cellar. They're not stopping there. These guys are visionary. They pioneered a future where your wine cellar was tied to your Spotify account. Choose a bottle from your cellar, and you get a recommended playlist. Well, today, I'm talking with Jack Duan, who's revolutionizing the direct-to-consumer landscape by bringing it to an international playing field. Today's episode, it's sponsored by Barrels Ahead. At Barrels Ahead, we work with you to implement a one-of-a-kind marketing strategy, one that highlights your authenticity, tells your story, and connects you with your ideal customers. In short, we help wineries and craft beverage producers unlock their story to unleash their revenue. Go to barrelsahead.com today to learn more. I am super excited today to talk with Jack Duan. He's the founder and CEO of Gliding Eagle. Jack and his team, they're pioneering direct-to-consumer wine sales by bringing it to an international landscape. Today, Gliding Eagle, they work with 138 ultra-premium winery clients, bringing their wines to 30 global destinations. Welcome to the show, Jack.
Thank you.
Man.
Happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you about this. We're going to dive into Gliding Eagle and the work you're doing, but share with the listeners a little bit about your background. How did you get from in the industry? How did you move from Sun Microsystems all the way to being the D2C global connector?
Thank you very much, Drew. First, I want to give you a number that actually a little different than we just said to the audience. You said 138 winery we work with. So since yesterday, the number is 200.
Oh,
really?
Congratulations.
200. Yeah, so we had, about a few months ago, 183. So we're silently growing the list to 200, really a real 200 number yesterday.
That's
and all
milestone.
word of mouth. It's all inbound. We don't do any marketing. Ultra premium winery is a very small circle. They just people reach out to. So yesterday, actually, we should have one of the top 10 wineries just reach out to us yesterday through our website. So, and that is very exciting. So why is happening this way? It's actually take a long time, 11 years in making. I want to tell anybody, there's no gambling. I don't like to go to Vegas, even though I want to sometimes, but reality teach me to be able to have this so much attraction, it takes so much energy. 11 years. Okay. So my background technology, Sun Microsystems and Safeway, big data. 11 years ago, I just want to do something that I couldn't have said that then, but now I'm just very clear. I'm not apologetic about it. I want to change the world. I want to make sure that for this century, me and a lot of people in my generation don't want to see any more world wars. And really, this is how I really had a calling in me 11 years ago. I couldn't tell people because I just that's too crazy, right? People's like, why? But now I'm just, this is who I am. And I stick with it. And now my investors and some board member look at me just dumbfounded, like, really? How do you know? Like, now the world become much more difficult than before. And I think that's what the driving force behind it. In order to connect people around the world in the most direct, transparent way, wine the first. It just happened that we don't know how to use our technology to track things around the world. Adam joined me in 2015. I started 2010. We're just two guys in t-shirt. We're desperate. We knock on doors in Napa. Adam was, born in Sonoma, and I lived in Silicon Valley. Came here, and one winery said yes. He saw the app. He's like, "Wow, okay, you can actually track things individually." It's like, "Do you have a need?" I said, "Well, we can't get a wine to this country, to there." First time was China. Mainland China was difficult, and that was okay. That's how it got started.
That's amazing. Was your t- Going back to the early days of Gliding Eagle? I mean, you definitely want to change the world. How has the vision of your original vision of Gliding Eagle evolved from 2010 to where it is now, 2021?
I mean, that's a great question, actually. I think there are two aspects, the philosophical and the more practical.
Mhm.
Philosophical, it hasn't really changed. I'm just even more grateful and feel extremely blessed. Like I have more energy now than 11 years ago. 11 years ago, I didn't want to do this. I even had a kidney stone. I was just so stressed out about it. I mean, I literally left the job but the grand idea, what do we do make difference in the world, even in the most solid way. I wouldn't say big or small, but just very solid. Everyone we touch, they feel people are connected around the world, and it become even increasingly become more meaningful, right? Today, that hasn't changed. Even become even just more blessed, more clarified, more energetically. We can do this for next 10, 20, 30 years, and I think that's the legacy people invest in me and working with me. They will live together in this. From practical matter is that, I work for large companies. I mean, all the, Sun, Safeway, even before that, Exxon, Caterpillar, they're, all the Fortune 500 companies. I see people as a colleague, but I realized, why become a founder CEO? No, they're not my colleague. They actually people work for me.
Mm.
There's a huge change. It took me a year to get through this. So like everything starts with me. My name's on everything, right? Then I can't defer to other people, but I had to say, look, it's something that I'm very particular about. I got to take leadership to do this way and not be apologetic about it. Just really this. So, and I think that from practical matter, then you think of running a business, it's really very simple. And we go through all of that. You see how to manage input and outputs, and people actually like what they get to pay you. So those can become even more. It's a practical matter, and it really becomes really real for me.
That's great. But now, in 2010, was it originally set up as a direct to consumer?
No, 2010, that time I was working at, Safeway with big data, and I work with brands to visualize all their revenue on their own platform that I managed to build. And I thought that, I don't want to do anything tech. Let me do something cool branding, because I work with small branded companies. They were my customer. And so I thought that maybe initially, 2010, like the wine, maybe I built the best gift set ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be very luxury products, right? And so that was the idea. Then 2 years later, I was so depressed, it didn't work. Literally, I mean, I spent all my saving to do this, and then realized unless that I can control the channel, and it doesn't really matter. So that almost like a phoenix was reborn from ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing came out the first 2 years was I literally every bottle of wine goes through the company had laser engraved a unique ID on it.
Mm.
Build a very simple application to track that. Just create to give you an idea. Like 2016, after 6 years later, some guy emailed us, said, hey, I got this wine from auction, like it was 1980 Rich Montebello or something. You have a number, actually works. What kind of system? I was just like floored, right? So 2013, 14, I taught 80, 90 people. Everyone just turned me down. They think they're crazy. I just sick and tired of talking to people. Start writing code. Go back to writing code. Like literally 2013, I think it was starting around October, November, no vacation, no holidays until like February 2014. 3 o'clock in the morning, all nighter. But when I started having the application literally taking that into shape, and I worked with a friend of mine, he got inertially done. I'm very design like, so everything built like be beautiful. That's how it started taking off. 14, we demonstrate that application FedEx. They were like, wow, no one have done it. They want to support us. Now we've become very loyal to each other for the last 8 years. Yeah. The IBM side, they give us credit. Now we're number one featured IBM cloud startup. They feature on their website since 2018, right? So the relationship built, think about it, go back. You put me into the back in history, tell you the truth. So nothing is really, there's no skipping steps actually.
Yeah. That's some, I mean, all entrepreneurs, founders, they go through this like just journey. I mean, perseverance, never giving up. That's one of them. But what else helped you just get to that inflection point?
There are many. I mean, but I think there were two categories things really helped me. First, let me be very clear. I don't claim to be the most persistent or dogged person on earth, but one thing that I manifest is I'm true to what's inside of me. I don't like to bullshit around, right? And what that happens, it creates this attraction. A lot of people in my life help me all through all of that. What you see in front of you is the production of so many unsung heroes behind the media. Investors, just friends, my ex-girlfriend. I mean, I remember I was so distraught. In the car, I started crying, literally. I mean, I never had been so many rejections in my whole life. And she called my hand and said, I believe in you. I think that word sounds better than I love you. I think that means something more, right? So those kind of things that help me get through all of that. And again, I always like talk about philosophical, spiritual versus practical, but without that spiritual, philosophical things, you can never get to the practical matter. I gave up a long time ago. And I think all those unsung heroes around me helped me to stay. Even Adam, 2015, we're friends. And one day I call him, do you want to do this? He goes, yeah, I want to quit my job and work with you on this. And those things I'm deeply grateful for.
Gratitude is so important. And I love the fact I believe in you. That is such a powerful statement. We all need to hear that more often than we do.
Just imagine, literally. I mean, I my background, I'm always like top of the class, went Berkeley, 80, 90 people I talked to, they all turned me down. I didn't know there's so many would say no. I got author, right? I was in the car, literally just like, I must be damn crazy. And someone just willing to say that to me, and I felt her. I feel that's profound, the deep connection, right? It's,
so you must have gotten a bunch of yeses. We're going on.
After later, yes, my goodness. So first 5 years it was grinding. I still I think of Michelangelo, how you're making David from the single piece of marble, right? You initially just grind, just like chisel, like painful. Eventually it gets smoother, right? So from 16, 17, 18, smoother. And even that, we have the times, I think 2017, I mean, that was tough. I had to let, I don't enjoy letting people go. It's really, but it's just part of life. And some of my employees, they know I can't. They just said, Jack, I'm leaving. I know you can't tell me. And I had to keep it, whatever we have, and even literally we ran out of cash and literally went back credit card debt just to pay people, right? And that kind of thing went through all of that. But I come back, talk to you now, I feel those things are just battle scars. And they become badges. It's what it is. So,
the old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Amen to that.
So Gliding Eagle, tell us a little bit tell the listeners about it. And there's a lot of wineries listening to this too. They may not know that this service is even available. Give us a rundown.
Yeah, it's great. If I give you like a simple pitch, just so like Steve Jobs way, so clear, right? We only do one thing, that we care about: international wine direct to consumer. We don't care anything else. If you want me to ship one to Chicago, I'm saying, no, thank you. I love you. I don't love you that much to do it. Okay. But within that very well defined boundaries of international wine TVC, we got this nailed. We do two things: track and deliver. Track the technology first. So the reason we're so efficient right now, the system built back in 2013, 14. We're the first industry to track everything uniquely around the world. From that's like a DNA. Then suddenly everything built on that. There's no weird excuses. So everything become very structured from that point. It's like you find your crystal for carbon molecules to become a diamond, right? It's non-negotiable. That's how I look at it. That's my DNA into it. So that then based on that, we can deliver wine individually tracked and full compliant, right? That's like when you do compliance, that means everything be really well documented. That'd be our system. So we can do that into 30 global destinations. That means definitely the country/regions.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So the two most difficult one is mainland China and Canada.
I was just about to ask you what was of the 30, what's the biggest challenge? And
first I tell you what's really good. Japan's super fast, man. We can ship to Japan, Hong Kong faster from here to Texas.
Wow.
Literally 48-hour delivered, right? It's super fast. Just think about, look at the map. From here to go to Japan, just one big ocean. There's nothing else in between. That's the easy one on the extreme side. And the harder one, Canada and China. Why Canada? Canada is the protection for I would say for the reasons it's appropriate for Canada, for Canadians. They have their own wine industry. So the recipient has to pay duties. We cannot do that for them. So imagine you send someone like your loved aunt lives in Canada, but we only do 5 or 6 provinces, right? Then if I said no, can't. Well, really? Okay, there's exception. Then the second exception is, well, aunt, I love you, but you gotta get a call from this government agency saying you're gonna pay tax. Really? I don't want to get a call, but yes, you have to. So it's another exception. That makes it very difficult. And that's not what we typical most us consumer like, but that's what it is. So that's difficult.
And just like from the general consumer, they think, oh, Canada, it's right up there.
I know.
I learned that firsthand. I love to go up to Okanagan, and I like to go skiing over in Banff, and talking to the people you're in Okanagan is like 30, 40 miles away from Alberta, but they can't literally get their wines from there 30 miles away over into Alberta without just a huge headache. I mean, you got taxes and tariffs and just interstate.
I mean, I'd say thank you so much for you chiming in. Let's go deep, right? So there are two. First, it's really bad customer experience, which I don't like to complain, but I'm just thinking people do that for a reason, right? That's what it is. The second is high tariff. So wine goes to BC, British Columbia. People live in Seattle. When you get a wine there, it's like 90%, right? Duty and taxes. Then go to Ontario, another like Toronto, big metropolitan. That's like 110%, right? The thing is, if you actually walk into a wine shop in Toronto, you might pay a lot of price anyway, but so you can only see one price. It's like we see iPhone. If Apple telling you, the phone costs $600, transportation costs $200, and duty costs $200, American no sense. But we're like, oh, we paid $1,099. Okay, that's fine, right? So, but it's all psychology. One big lesson I learned: don't go, Jack. Don't think too damn smart. Don't try to go against the grain of human psychology. But ironically, that's all we deal with a lot of times, right? Then I become a little humorous about it. People like that, I said, look, I really like you. Let me tell you our life. Every day at Glen Eagle, it's April 15th. Literally, we literally sitting in front of the screen, everything be so on the dot, right? We specifically describe every bottle of wine, alcohol content. And sometimes you see those really great people. I love them, but they just make me like a cinch. So they bought like 24 bottle of wine. Every bottle is different. We had to declare 24 different type of things on item. Just think of that. Look, you hate, our tax can hate us. Manually do 20. That's what we had to do.
Oh man.
So that's our world. I can tell you with charm because I don't take it personally anymore. But that's the problem we're solving at the most practical matter.
It's a huge issue. I mean, back in the day, we used to ship wines to Japan, but this was back in the 90s. And it was a little more of a rum running situation than at the wine store as that than the actual legitimacy. But I think the statute of limitations are over, so we're okay then. But so Canada's tough, China's tough.
China, China,
you'd expect China to be tough, but
so let me give it. So I'm so like energetic and passionate about it because I also felt it's so important to say humans, we are connected. Period. We create all the mental walls to tell a story we're not connected, but we're connected. So I want to be so clear about this. I learned a lot along the way. When you have so much goodwill, other people help you. And China is difficult because for a number of reasons, right? Because U.S. and trade, and also people have a finicky requests, all kind of things. They don't want to pay a lot, all the things. But I don't want to say, just give a very, very cool example to showcase. When you get everything done right, it's done really well. During the initial onset of COVID, we have people come to us, want to get masks, go to Wuhan. Mm-hmm. Because we built all the relationship. I went to China 40 times last 10 years, right? A lot of people, we know China well. We're able to ship, using our system, track everything from US, get N95 to China within a week. Like everything, they just green light for everything. People, they know we need. When we get a mask back from China to the US, it's hard. Because we've never done it before. We have to take a longer time to get that through, right? So I want to make sure that everyone understands it's not about one government is worse than others. It's about how you become so good at it. Just like HR blocks is good with talking to RS. We're not. Mm-hmm. We don't love ours that much to spend our day to do this, you know? So that's what I want to say. It's difficulty. Sometimes it's not rocket science. It's just, you need to recognize that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And when the more time I spend on it, and people really see that we're not do weird, you know, that a lot of industry people don't declare everything, you know, all that kind of stuff. But like, no, we'll do. Then initially we're kind of shocked, look at it kind of funny. But consistency, like, oh, okay. Then suddenly it starts speaking to many facts. And then we'll talk something really relevant right now. A year ago, during the height of COVID, we thought we're out of business, right? Then the relationship we built in China, someone came back, 3 guys, bought $500,000 worth of wine. We're able to bring that revenue to our winery clients. And because they trust us, and it's just like they prepay everything, and we got delivered. And that's how I feel with such gratitude for the relationship we built in China, and also with winery relation, we made that happen, right? Right now, it seems totally different, right? There's less flight between the 2 countries. And we have wine list stuck in our warehouse, but we can't ship because of COVID, right? There's even more. So we're dealing with the world, I want to say, the world of we expect fast and cheap logistics over. Mm-hmm. Now we're going into the next decade. It's that, I don't know, but I feel there's tremendous amount of opportunities when you do things right. People really know that you're serious. You have system behind it. We can actually make a lot of changes in the worst scenario happens. So that's my big wish. We'll see.
Yeah. You mentioned COVID, and in the pre-show we talked about a couple of the macroeconomic trends that have really kind of accelerated because of COVID, and they're both right in Gliding Eagle's wheelhouse. It would be e-commerce and D2C. How as hindering as it was, it had to have been a big boon for you guys.
Yeah, so a great question, Drew. I mean, also, so just think about COVID happened. That was, I literally come back from China on the 19th. As I had that ticket. Then it hit us March, right? Mm-hmm. Then June, I thought we were dead. We're just like, then starting September, everything went way up. Mm-hmm. Not China, everywhere. And so our revenue went up 50% last year because, so we see 2 things happen. It's going to be that what we see in the next 10 years. Number one is cross-border e-commerce. Cross-border means that literally the consumer and the seller on different sides of the borders. It's not like you sell something to an importer sell to a consumer. That's traditional B2B2C model. Cross-border e-commerce means literally someone in Japan can order wine direct from winery, and the winery say, "Glenn, you go help us get delivered." Right? That kind of transaction happens, and that's a big deal, and we see on firsthand that's happening. And the winery, remember you and I talk about the pre-show. It took from 1976 to 2020. They migrated from a farming to hospitality business, right? Now, I think next 10, 20 years, they had to really go to total digital. There'd be a lot of opportunities, a lot of new companies. They really think that way to help them. The second is talk about direct consumer. Also, well, I won't go deeper with that. It's really the QR code. It's so non-sexy, right? So,
Well, it finally made its way.
I know.
COVID helped the QR code more than anything.
I think you're right. Seriously, right? I mean, we go to restaurant. I mean, like you would
as soon
never
as you
know
had to
those
figure
guys.
out how to eat, you learned how to use the QR code.
That's right? So it's scanned. So we were doing QR code 2013, 14. I kid you not. Okay. Now winery coming to us like, wow, it's cool. I want you to help us to track wines, even with the United States. We're like, great. We don't ship for you, but you can license our technology to track things. And that's what, again, that goes in DTC, but even more DTC, the direct consumer digitally, right? It's not just selling, but how to connect with someone, direct consumer. That person could be in Texas, Alabama, Massachusetts, right? So we don't ship the wine for you, but through our Glen ecosystem, then whenever they have a bottle of wine in their hands, they have this QR code, whether it can be embedded into the label itself, where they just label in holographic, whatever that. At least so you see it as QR code. It's unique. Every code is different. It's not a UPC code across all kits, but just something unique. The moment they scan that we articulate, we design, we beautify that digital experience on mobile phone, right? And with the clear respect for privacy. I mean, that had to be set up. They had the goodwill. That's the reason we never said we don't sell wine, we don't market it. So we don't have any weird incentive to take all the information. We don't do that at all, right? So we try to be a technology company to track things and deliver things. Suddenly there's no misalignment at the root. So when you do that, then we enable that connection to happen the moment. And let me be a little geeky about this, right?
Sure.
Imagine if you're in Massachusetts, Alabama, if someone scanned a bottle, I want them to have thing load up within 1 second. Then you go to engineering technology, right? So think about it. It's like, you probably can tell there's DNA in our company. Like when we say yes to something, we're really geeky, go deep in that. So someone scan a bottle, if they have a good connection, okay, they can see that website come up in half second. That's speed. So I think all of that unsaid things, when people feel it, at Apple, they don't tell that 1 or 2 seconds, you feel something different, right? That's what I call DTC means. Is the moment you take all the distributor, retailer away, the winery can get directly connect with one with consumer. There's so much engineering work never presented to them before, but we've been doing that for 7 years. That's why I'm so geeky and so happy and so proud of what we've done together. Yeah,
I can imagine, especially with all the 30 different destinations. You've got different languages, and with the QR code, you could co-locate or translate it and provide an experience that's relevant to the person in China or in Japan.
Yes, and now winery asking us to do that to Texas. That's good. They all speak English, but it's experience. The moment you scan it, it has to be fast, beautiful, and clear.
That's great. And that would go straight onto the labels.
To the labels.
Wow. That's fantastic. So, at Gliding Eagle, that's a great vision on the QR codes. Here in 2021, you're growing like gangbusters. Where do you see the actual growth into different destinations and in different luxury brands for Gliding Eagle?
Yeah, so let's talk about just for one, right? Let's just think about this. How do we play the best in this arena for now? And how do we grow? If I look back, 2015, around September, that's our first shipment to now, one client now to 200 clients. Out of universe, about 900 clients in California, West Coast, ultra premium. So we can continue to have more winery come to us. We can help them. We're going to have a contract, and we can also just track and deliver. You don't have to think a thing. Done. Okay. And then not only that, if you wanted to digitally connect with your clients, we can use the technology for that. Okay, so we are into working with one winery. Already they're going to launch this in January. It's going to in United States. So that. But I want to take one step back. What does it mean for me as a founder, and also what does it mean? Like really, what does it mean? It means that taking a great idea 11 years ago, wanted to connect people, have humans to coexist peacefully, world peace. Put that way, 2 words, right? The meaningful connection using our technology and our way of delivering. For the last 6 years, we did that even more in a practical manner. Is we set standard for it, right? I can say that the racetrack is very narrow, but in the very narrow racetrack, we set standard. That's what I feel very proud of. When you set standard, you can lead people to see the vision you have. I was thinking 5, 10 years down the road. The next 5, 10, 20 years down the road, can we set standard for global trade? That's the question, right? Because every generation have a new way of doing it. Global trade since the camels, ships, trains, planes. But from digitally, can you set standard for that? Can you really enable people to share data across all different systems, and they know where things are? That fascinates me.
Well,
I'll leave that to you.
You got to think bigger. That's fantastic. So it is setting the global standard for shipping, for interstate communication, or intercountry, global.
Yeah. Let's see. I would love to when we still 10 years down the road, we're both still young and energetic. We talk about, is Jack smoking something where he actually make it happen, which I don't smoke anyway, but I'm just saying. So, you know what I mean? So I think it drives me as an entrepreneur. I feel like this is my dojo. It's not a professor. It's whatever matters. You and I have conversation, what we said before I actually started to manifest. It gives so much energy to our words, right? Embody something. And I want us going forward next 10 years, every few years we check in, like, well, it's actually connecting. It's so profoundly changed people's, like, their inspiration lives. And I think that's also, as an entrepreneur, that we can leave a tiny bit of fingerprint out of people's lives and feel like, you know what? Changing the world is not a pipe dream. We all can do it as long as we're consistent and very energetic about it.
I love it. That's deep. Actually, there's been a few guests, and they have your sort of vision to change the world. The other one was Dr. Hobie Wedler, who's a sensory brand expert, and he's trying to just increase the world's awareness that there's a bunch of other senses other than sight. He's legally blind, and he's into helping wineries try to use other words other than just the color of the wine or the vision of the vineyard, the smells and everything. But it's that commitment to something bigger that I just know you and Hobie, you're onto something, and that your success is going to come from that, because you're not just on that smaller goal.
I mean, I thank you so much, Drew. I mean, when you say it, like, I feel there's such a weird, but awesome, like, flow from the top of my head going down. Like, we're connected. And thank you so much for recognizing that. I think the world doesn't need people to get on the stage to talk about things. They want an entrepreneur that we are manifesting something real, right? But there must be something much more come through that is really what do you mean change the world? That world? No, it's people. People is the world, right? Dogs, cats, beings, that's our world on earth. But when you have that embodied goodwill, but that's the world changing anyway. You know what I mean? So the one that just looks like world changing anyway. Quantum mechanics says that. But why can't I help with the shape to the direction I see we can go? So that's how it becomes so, like, self-manifested. Then I just no fear about it. I don't feel apologetic about it. Well, I'm the tiny little being. Who am I to say? But no, actually, we can do it. Something seems to totally change for me.
That is very, very, very inspiring. It's kind of hard to move to anything else from that. It's kind
we
of
don't
like
have to.
No.
No. I mean, again, just get shit done. I think
get shit done.
Get shit done. We have a word, get shit done, no drama. you can blurt that word out if you like. But,
No. This is an all language program.
okay, so I mean that this way. It's with energy, get shit out, no drama, period. So, but when you consistently manifesting it, like you feel, it's like there's no weird things about it. It's not like agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally, like, our generation, we must change the world for better, because we
Mm-hmm.
don't know what human have 50 years to live or not. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
when I look at winery guys, and literally we're on the front line of global impact. I mean, global climate change impact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every year, either fires or drought. I mean, if I don't, we don't think this like something more than that, then like, so what?
Mm-hmm.
It's just some rich guy get a wine. No, you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a life of you. But I think when you see the angle, like, no, even for that, they're human beings really care about the bottle of wine. They make it. It's like really hard to make a wine.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Well, the way we get there, we put so much goodwill and energy and engineering behind it. People are like, wow, you really care. I thought, dude, the care transforms. Whatever it is, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
transforms. And then suddenly everything started to go. And again, you said, really, next 10 years, I think about what I have done to wine, continue to build such amazing, solid business, almost utility. I want to know drama. People don't think you want to go to Japan, say yes. Germany say, China say yes. You
Uh-huh.
don't even second guess yourself. Just say yes. Okay, we'll get you covered. It's actually hard. Just make sure we get that done, the baseline. Then truly, we can actually literally set standards for global trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'd be a really good life lived.
It really would be. And you brought up a point though, that it's not just rich guys drinking wine around the world. What you're doing is actually bringing the world smaller, because these rich guys, they're drinking the wine, but they're also now tied to different regions around the world. They're drinking and experiencing it, and they're tangentially hearing the stories. So it's not so much just this distant country or this wine over there. You're bringing it, and you're making the world smaller, and that is making the world a better place. And not all the guys are rich guys. They're going to pour it for other people too.
Yeah, so like when you think about it, all humans, right? Whether it's rich or poor, even dog and cats, a lot of fish, all beings. If you think of that way, but somehow touch them the way it's so practical. But we take the sublime, goes to that level. Again, what I'm saying is really that I do every day. I mean, but also in doing business, there's fairness, right? So, and it's hard as entrepreneurs sometimes, how to be fair to the company, how to be fair to employee, how to be fair to customer, all the stuff. It's like, it is practice every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very inspirational. I'm going to get down to nuts and bolts here for a second. So there's a winery. What's the winery wants to expand their distribution out to start directly selling? What's the first process, and what's the right fit for the winery? Like, it's not going to be every winery.
Great question. Let's just assume like our mom is a winery. Let's just care for our moms, right? We care about moms. So I do it very practical. First, there are two steps. Not everyone can go second steps. Just first step is at the tasting room, train your staff using our software. If someone said, I want to get to Japan before, well, maybe. No, yes, really. So that's just people, like, you build confidence in that, right? The second step is cross-border e-commerce. We can bring we have a part, we don't sell wine. We deliver to get their product. But their partner work with, they can get you to sell in the local country, UK, Japan, Hong Kong, etc. Right? So, but a lot of wineries, they had to go through the first step, and that's most of our winery is today. They have to, because imagine 99% wineries still in the hospitality business today, right? So how to train the staff? We train them staff. We show them how to use our software. Make software super simple. So that's a step one. And there are two types of work. One called one-off, just like sometimes you and I walk into FedEx and ship something. Okay, we ship for you. But a lot of business have contract with FedEx. They can do billing, right? So one-off is sometimes we give them courtesy pickup. A lot of times they now pay pickup, where they can drop into our office for free. This one should know like B2B relationship. Just will help you. That's okay. Well, over time, now almost 50 wineries all of who the list, they become our contracted paying customer because they realize, you guys the best thing around for me to have that potential go anywhere in the world without going through a distributor. And we want to keep you around. We want to become partner with you.
Mm-hmm.
So become contractual. So that's who we work with. But we all start with ground zero. Mom, pay me a dime. Okay, well, I want to help you to get. So you have something you feel like it's cool. It's not a breaking your leg kind of thing. Okay, if you're comfortable, like, let's have a local relationship. Okay, so let me get down to a practical manner. That's how we work together.
So how long does it take? So a winery decides to show up or contracts with you, and then they educate their tasting room, they get educated on the software. Someone from Japan visits, joins the wine club, then you're off to the races.
Yeah, it's just seriously, I'm so proud to do this. We really take that craziness, put it into a product that's so simple, right? So give example. For example, so our mom have a winery, mom's winery.
Mm-hmm.
The first client shows up, Mary from Japan. Okay, and the staff's look, oh yes, glad to train me yesterday. Great, your software, they use our software. Bam, it's so beautiful. The interface like one big button, destination. Click on that, Japan. Bam, ask a question. How many bottles? Oh, 6 bottles. What's the price? Stay there. Bam, give a quote. How much? Fully delivered, right? So, mom, you don't have to worry about someone calling you like you owe somebody money. Okay. Oh, really? No, none. The Mary goes, no, everything baked in. One price to pay like Apple, no other things, no salt, everything included. By the way, benefit for you because the mom would work with us. Mom doesn't have to charge you sales tax because we can prove to the California government every bottle of wine is for export. Oh, really? 79%. Okay. See, all the things so damn simple, Drew, but it takes years to get so simple and to tell people over and over again. Don't forget. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, mom. I love you. I just don't forget this. Those kind of things we have to do every day.
Oh, that sounds. I can see you guys are. Yeah, 200 is just the start. You guys are going big. As we kind of wrap down, I ask a couple questions that everyone. We're all about gratitude. Who do you admire right now most in the wine industry, and who would you like to give thanks to?
I mean, I would say I admire Robert Mondavi. I mean, I never met the guy. But I just imagine 1950s, what did what he did. Agriculture become. I mean, another one is Warren. I can't remember pronounce it, but the founder of Stagby Wine Cellars, right? Well, and he transplanted from Chicago. I mean, those guys saw something and they just get to work. And I'm really inspired by them. And my world's not in the barrels. My world in digital. And, that's but that's the land I'm tilling. So they inspire me. And the people, even much grander people inspire me. It's like Gandhi, right? And he doesn't talk about it. He just gets done. He would actually literally cause the entire riot to stop by not eating food, not by guns, not by crazy threats. I mean, I think humans are 21st. We need people like that. They really, we can't kill each other just to get what we want. Can we do something to inspire people so yeah, those are things that inspire me.
Those are very, very inspirational. Now, do you drink wine?
I don't.
You're in the wine industry and you don't drink wine?
I taste wine. I'm very spoiled by really good wines. I know how to taste. But I also think it gave me a different perspective, right? And I become very even tempered about it. But I have such profound appreciation for good craftsmanship. Digital, I craft software. That's why one time one maker gave me a big hug when he saw our first app. He goes, "Oh, you get us." I'm like, "I get you, but I don't drink your wine yet." But I get you because that when someone is driven for excellence, you can tell.
Yeah, I love that. You appreciating the craftsmanship of it, and that's something that most people don't realize how many steps go into that final product. All the choices that are made, from the label to the cork to the bottle to all the different blending decisions. I mean, there's a ton of craftsmanship that goes into that.
Can I tell you just one small story? I can't say I respect them. Just but I had to make something manifest. So the way I respect the wines come in, we use those Swiffer, those kind of hairless thing to get all dust off your thing.
Mm-hmm.
So every bottle come in, I actually ask my employee to dust off all the wines, make sure they're clean when go to a special type of container.
Mm-hmm.
And then we test like 5 different type. So our breakage rate is 0.17%. What the hell does that mean? Every 1,000 bottles, 1.5 bottle break. The 1/10th industry again. I'm saying like why once I decided to truly honor other people's craftsmen, I gotta get that down, man. I gotta get on something practical, and that makes people like, oh, you got me. You know what I mean? It's not words. So even just to dust off all the dust from the one little box, and to put in the box that we know the best we can ever afford, to ship them without any breakage. That's like, I got you. You got me.
It's the number one way you can. You're just honoring that craft. Man, Jack. So, Jack, as we're wrapping up, where can people find more about you and Gliding Eagle?
I think, thank you for it. Just Google. Gliding Eagle wine, bam, we're number one. We don't, just like organically gone into this. And I just said, Drew, goodwill in universe is reciprocal. It's just the way it is. I don't have to constantly looking for next deal or customer. They come to us. But once we decided where get our stuff so well, like I talk about even just dust off the bottles, that's packaging. I think that matters for people. And I just want everyone knows whatever they do, somehow they got to get into that level of passion. That matters. Might not people don't see maybe first, second year, but eventually the people see, then suddenly like everybody come to you. And that's what we see right now.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, Jack, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. It was very, very, very inspirational.
Well, Drew, thank you so much for reaching out. And I talk to you like a friend. We're friends now. Nice. I really appreciate you giving the space and the goodwill to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Take care. Be well. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Legends Behind the Craft podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.